For centuries, Earth had remained a quiet player in the vast galaxy. Humans had always believed in peaceful coexistence with the many species around them. While other civilizations fought and battled for power, Earth stayed calm, focused on building its cities, advancing its technology, and growing stronger each day. No one thought much of Earth until the day they realized they had made a huge mistake. The HFY were the first to see humans as weak. They were a species of giant, war-hungry beings that traveled across the galaxy, taking what they wanted. They had invaded other planets before, leaving destruction in their wake. When they set their eyes on Earth, they expected an easy conquest. The HFY were used to dominating and enslaving lesser species. They had no idea what they were about to face. It started small. The HFY sent their scouts to Earth, testing the waters. They watched humans, studied their behavior, and learned their weaknesses. They thought humans would beg for their protection. They assumed humans would give up their resources to avoid war. But they didn't count on one thing: humans were smarter than they appeared. Humans never expected to be attacked. For years, Earth had been ignored, left alone while other species fought among themselves. They had a simple belief: everyone should have the chance to live in peace. But peace had its limits. The HFY tested those limits, and they crossed the line. One evening, the skies above Earth darkened. The HFY ships arrived massive and intimidating. Their engines roared as they hovered above Earth's major cities, casting shadows that covered the land. Their arrival was no surprise, but the response from Earth was: humanity had been quietly preparing. For years, while the HFY were watching, humans had been building something. It wasn't just a weapon, it was a statement. A warning. Earth wasn't a place to be taken lightly. The world's leaders knew that the time had come. They had tried every diplomatic method to stop the HFY. They had sent messages of peace, asking for cooperation. But the HFY didn't care. They wanted Earth's resources, and they planned to take them by force. That was when Earth decided to act. The first sign of humanity's hidden power was a single, low hum. It was barely audible, but it spread across every city, every town, and every country. People felt it in their bones. Something big was happening, something that had been kept secret for too long. Governments and scientists stared in disbelief as an enormous energy field began to surround the planet. The HFY watched in shock as the humans activated their hidden weapon, a weapon so powerful it made the sky itself tremble. The HFY ships tried to flee, but it was too late. The energy field turned into a concentrated beam of light, brighter than the sun, powerful enough to erase entire fleets from existence. The HFY's technology, thought to be unbeatable, shattered like glass in the face of Earth's new force. Ships exploded one by one, and the HFY forces were thrown into chaos. On the ground, humanity watched as the light tore through the sky. People didn't celebrate. There was no cheering. They all understood what had just happened. Earth had changed forever. The HFY were not gone, but they had been humbled. For the first time in their history, the HFY had underestimated a species. They thought humans were weak, that Earth was just another planet to conquer. But they were wrong. As the dust settled and the skies cleared, the leaders of Earth sent a message. A simple message, but one that would echo through the stars for centuries. We are not to be underestimated. Leave our world, or face the consequences. The HFY were not the only ones watching. Every species in the galaxy, every empire that had ever doubted Earth's strength, now took notice. They understood what had just happened. The quiet species, the one they had ignored, had just revealed a power beyond their comprehension. Earth wasn't just another planet. It was a force to be reckoned with. The moment humans lost patience would be remembered as the day Earth woke up. From that day forward, no one would ever dare to see humans as weak. No one would take Earth for granted again. The universe learned a powerful lesson that day. Humans may be peaceful, but they would never be pushed too far. The HFY left Earth, their pride shattered, but they would never forget the warning. And as they retreated, other species whispered among themselves. Some feared what humanity might do next. Others were simply in awe. But one thing was clear to everyone now: Earth was not a world to be trifled with. The day Earth woke up had changed everything. The universe had seen countless civilizations rise and fall, but Earth was different. For years, it had been a quiet planet full of life, technology, and dreams, but never a major player in the galactic stage. Earth's people were not known for war or aggression. Instead, they believed in peace, diplomacy, and understanding. But there comes a moment when every peaceful species has had enough. The Zorvans were the first to see humans as a weak link in the galaxy. They were a ruthless species, known for their greed and desire for control. They had taken over entire planets, enslaving their populations and bending worlds to their will. When they set their sights on Earth, they didn't think twice. They saw a young, unprepared planet and believed it would be an easy target. It began with small attacks. Zorvan ships raided Earth's outer colonies, stealing resources and demanding tribute. At first, humans tried to reason with them. Earth's leaders sent out diplomats, begging the Zorvans to stop. They offered trade deals, promises of cooperation, anything to avoid conflict. But the Zorvans were not interested in peace. They only wanted more land, more power, more control. As the attacks grew bolder, Earth's leaders called for an emergency meeting. The people were scared, but they were also angry. Humanity had always been patient, but patience had its limits. The Zorvans had gone too far. They had not just attacked Earth's colonies, they had attacked human dignity. The Earth's Council knew they had to act, but no one wanted to start a war. They believed in negotiation, in talking things through, but the Zorvans had shown no interest in that. In fact, their leaders laughed at human attempts to reason with them. They thought Earth's diplomats were weak, and they thought Earth's military was a joke. Then came the final insult. The Zorvans attacked Earth's home planet. They descended on the capital, bombarding cities and leaving destruction in their wake. The people were terrified, running for cover as the skies above were filled with enemy ships. But it was then, in the face of total chaos, that something changed. Humans realized that they had been foolish for too long. They had underestimated themselves. For years, they had hidden their true power, hidden their weapons, their technology, their ability to fight back. But the Zorvans had forced their hand. No more warnings. No more talks. It was time to show the galaxy what humanity was capable of. In the shadows, a plan had been set in motion. Earth's top scientists, engineers, and military leaders had been preparing for this moment for years. They had built a weapon not just to defend Earth, but to send a message to every species in the galaxy. A weapon so powerful, it would leave no room for doubt. The Zorvans, still in the middle of their attack, never saw it coming. At precisely the right moment, Earth's secret weapon was activated. The weapon was a massive energy cannon built into the planet itself, hidden beneath the surface. With a single pulse, the cannon unleashed a burst of energy so intense it shook the entire planet. The Zorvan fleet in orbit was vaporized in an instant. Their ships, their weapons, their soldiers all gone, reduced to nothing. But it didn't end there. The cannon's energy blast didn't just stop at the Zorvan fleet. It reached deep into space, creating a shockwave that rippled through the stars, sending a clear message to the universe: Earth was not to be taken lightly. The Zorvans had underestimated humans for the last time. Their invasion was over, and Earth had won. But that victory came with a cost. The weapon had used up a vast amount of Earth's resources, and the planet would need time to recover. The people were tired, their cities in ruins, but there was no turning back. Humanity had drawn its line in the sand, and they would never let anyone cross it again. As the dust settled and the last of the Zorvans retreated into the unknown, the leaders of Earth sent one final transmission across the galaxy. A single message, broadcast to every corner of space, to every species that might dare challenge humanity's right to exist. We are not weak. We are not helpless. Leave us alone, or face the consequences. The universe was quiet after that. For a moment, it seemed as if all life had paused, waiting. No one knew exactly what would happen next, but one thing was certain: Earth had changed. No longer would humans be looked down upon. No longer would they be seen as the easy target. The message was clear. The Zorvans learned that lesson the hard way. And as for Earth, the people knew that their fight wasn't over. There would be other threats, other species that would test them. But now, humans had a weapon and a will that no one could ignore. The last warning had been given. For as long as humanity could remember, Earth had been a peaceful planet. While other species fought wars in the stars, humans kept to their world, focusing on building, learning, and growing. They had always believed in peaceful solutions, always searching for ways to avoid conflict. But sometimes, peace comes with a price. And sometimes, when you've been too quiet, for too long, the universe forgets who you are. The Wythar, a powerful alien empire, had conquered countless planets in the galaxy. They were known for their advanced technology and ruthless tactics. The Wythar believed that they had the right to control everything in their path. When they set their eyes on Earth, they didn't see a threat. They saw a weak, isolated world, ripe for the taking. At first, their invasion was subtle. They didn't send armies or massive ships. Instead, they infiltrated Earth's communication networks, spreading lies and propaganda. They manipulated governments, creating confusion and distrust. The Wythar knew that if they could break Earth's unity, they could take control without firing a single shot. The world's leaders struggled. They tried to fight back, but their efforts were scattered. There was no clear answer. Earth had always been divided, with different countries and cultures focused on their own concerns. The Wythar saw this as a weakness they could exploit. Slowly, they began to push Earth's people into chaos. But there was something the Wythar didn't understand. The longer they pushed, the more they awakened something inside humanity. Humanity was used to being quiet. They were used to avoiding conflict. But when they finally realized that the Wythar had no intention of stopping, that the only way to protect Earth was to fight back, a new feeling began to grow. In the shadows. Away from the chaos, Earth's best minds were working together. Scientists, engineers, and military leaders who had long been preparing for a day like this. They had hidden their plans, hidden their technology, knowing that one day, the universe would test them. And now, that day had come. The first sign that things were changing came quietly. Across the globe, communications went dark. Governments couldn't contact each other. People were confused, but they didn't panic. They waited. Then, without warning, a series of pulses shot across the skies. They were barely visible to the naked eye, but those who saw them knew something big was happening. Earth had just sent a message into space. The Wythar had been watching, but they didn't expect what happened next. Suddenly, their fleet was under attack. A massive energy wave, invisible but powerful, hit their ships with the force of 100 suns. The Wythar commanders tried to fight back, but their weapons failed. Their shields were useless. Ships exploded in silence, vanishing without a trace. The Wythar couldn't understand it. There was no warning, no signs of battle. Just destruction. On Earth, people watched as the skies slowly cleared. They didn't cheer or celebrate. They didn't need to. They knew what had happened. The Wythar had tried to control them, to divide them, but in the end, humanity had struck back in the only way that mattered. It was the quiet power of Earth that had won. While the galaxy thought of humanity as a weak species, Earth had been planning in silence. And now, they had shown the universe that they were not to be underestimated. But the battle wasn't over. The Wythar, though stunned, weren't gone. They regrouped, planning their next move. They would not be defeated so easily. But Earth had already made their decision. They would not back down. The universe watched. The silent fury of Earth had just begun. Every move, every strike from now on, would come without warning. No one would know when humanity would strike, but they would remember the silence, the waiting, and the fury that followed. No one would forget the moment they saw Earth's true power. A power so silent, so deadly, it couldn't be ignored. The Wythar would try again, but this time they knew that Earth was no longer a weak target. They knew that humanity had learned, had become something far more dangerous than they ever imagined. And the universe, too, would remember that Earth wasn't the quiet planet they once thought it was. It was a planet that, when pushed too far, would unleash a fury so silent no one would see it coming. The universe had always underestimated Earth. Humans, with their small planet and simple ways, were seen as little more than an afterthought to the powerful empires that roam the stars. For centuries, Earth's people lived in peace, growing, exploring, and learning. But every peaceful world has its breaking point, and when Earth reached it, it would change the galaxy forever. The Z-Corps were a powerful alien race, known across the galaxy for their cruelty and greed. They had conquered countless worlds, their ships casting long shadows over planets as they demanded submission from all who lived there. When the Z-Corps decided to invade Earth, they saw an easy victory. After all, what could a small, peaceful planet do against the might of their fleets? At first, the invasion was slow. The Z-Corps sent scouts to Earth, testing its defenses, monitoring its people. They found humans to be weak, divided by their nations, distracted by their everyday lives. They saw no reason to hurry. The Z-Corps were confident. They were sure Earth would bow to them without a fight. But as the Z-Corps drew closer, they made a fatal mistake. They underestimated humanity's ability to surprise. Earth had always been patient, always willing to negotiate, to talk. But that patience had limits. When the Z-Corps' attacks turned brutal, when they destroyed entire cities with no warning, humans began to change. It didn't happen all at once. People across the planet began to wake up, to see that Earth's peaceful ways were no longer enough to protect them. Governments began to work together, pooling their resources, their knowledge, and their strength. Scientists, engineers, and military leaders, once divided by borders and politics, set aside their differences. They were united by one purpose: survival. The Z-Corps thought the humans would run, that they would hide and beg for mercy. They never expected the humans to fight back. And yet, that's exactly what Earth did. In secret, in hidden underground labs and classified facilities, humans worked tirelessly, creating a weapon like nothing the galaxy had ever seen. The weapon was unlike anything the Z-Corps had imagined. It wasn't just powerful, it was a symbol, a signal to the stars that Earth was no longer weak. It was the roar of a species that had been pushed too far. The day came when Earth's silence broke. As the Z-Corps ships descended upon the planet, Earth's leaders gave one final command. A single pulse shot up from the ground, silent at first, but then it grew. A massive wave of energy surged through space, knocking the Z-Corps ships out of the sky. It wasn't a loud explosion. There were no fiery displays. Just an intense, quiet wave of power that hit the enemy like a force of nature. The Z-Corps were shocked. They hadn't seen it coming. Their ships, once so mighty, fell one by one. They tried to retaliate, but their weapons were useless against the new power humans had unleashed. The energy wave didn't stop, it spread across the planet, erasing the Z-Corps fleet from existence, one ship after another. In moments, the skies above Earth were clear. The Z-Corps had been defeated. But it wasn't just the Z-Corps that had been defeated. The galaxy was watching. The universe had seen what happened. Earth had fought back. Humans had roared, and the stars had heard it. No longer was Earth the small, peaceful world. No longer were they the easy target. The Z-Corps learned the hard way that humanity was not a species to be underestimated. After the battle, as the dust settled, Earth's leaders broadcast a simple message into the void of space. A message meant for anyone who thought they could take Earth's resources, who thought they could bend humanity to their will. Never again. The galaxy heard that message loud and clear. The Z-Corps had retreated, their pride shattered, and they would never come back. But the true impact of that day wasn't in the defeat of the Z-Corps, it was in the message Earth had sent to the stars. Humanity had proved that it would not back down, that it would not be silent any longer. It had roared, and the universe would never forget. The Z-Corps weren't the first to underestimate humanity, and they wouldn't be the last. But Earth had made a promise that day. And as the galaxy watched, they knew that from now on, no one would dare challenge Earth. No one would dare to see humans as weak. Because the next time someone tried to take advantage of Earth, they would face the full force of humanity's power. They would face the roar of a species that had learned to fight back. And when that roar came, the stars themselves would tremble. For centuries, Earth had stood alone. The humans were peaceful by nature, content to stay within their small corner of the universe. They built, they dreamed, and they prospered, unaware of the chaos that raged beyond their planet. But the universe is a harsh place, and not all species shared the same peaceful intentions. Some waited for the moment when Earth would no longer be able to avoid the coming storm. The Anrith were one such species, an empire built on conquest. With their massive fleets and terrifying warships, they had swept through countless worlds, leaving nothing but ashes behind them. They were feared across the galaxy, and their leaders believed that every planet eventually would bow to them. They never thought that Earth would be any different. At first, the Anrith arrived quietly. They sent scouts, watching from the shadows, learning about humanity's way of life. They saw Earth's growing technology, and they watched the humans become more and more divided. Political unrest and a lack of unity among Earth's nations seemed to be the perfect opportunity for the Anrith. They would strike when humanity was weakest. The Anrith began their invasion with small, calculated moves. They sent ships into Earth's atmosphere, cloaked and undetected, stealing resources from the planet. They sabotaged satellite systems, causing blackouts across the world. They spread fear, hoping to break humanity's will before the real attack came. At first, the humans tried to respond. Earth's military was not as advanced as the Anriths, but they were determined. Nations sent their best forces to defend their borders, but the Anriths' power was overwhelming. The humans fought bravely, but their attacks had no lasting effect. The Anrith seemed unstoppable. Yet, even as Earth faced defeat, a new strength began to grow within its people. Humans had always been patient. They had always believed in diplomacy, in talking things through. But the Anrith had pushed them too far. They had taken too much. The world's leaders, once divided, began to see the truth. They had been naive. The Anrith didn't want peace, they wanted Earth, and they would stop at nothing to get it. The time for patience had ended. In secret, Earth's brightest minds came together. They gathered in hidden labs, working around the clock to develop a weapon that could turn the tide. They knew it would not be easy, and they knew it would be dangerous. But they also knew it was their only hope. The weapon they built was unlike anything the Anrith had ever seen. It wasn't just a tool of destruction, it was a message. A message to the universe that Earth would no longer stand idly by. The weapon was a massive energy generator, hidden beneath the Earth's surface. When activated, it would unleash a shockwave powerful enough to wipe out entire fleets of enemy ships in one strike. The humans didn't want to use it. They didn't want to destroy everything they had worked so hard to build. But the Anrith had left them no choice. The time for diplomacy had passed. ASF, the Anrith's fleet descended upon Earth cities. The humans activated their weapon. At first, there was nothing. Then, the ground trembled. A low hum built into a roar, and a brilliant beam of light shot into the sky. It was a blast of pure energy, so powerful that it seemed to tear the very fabric of space itself. The first wave of Anrith ships disappeared in a flash, their massive forms crumbling into dust. The second wave didn't even make it to the surface. Within seconds, the entire Anrith fleet had been obliterated, their advanced warships nothing but remnants in the wind. But the humans didn't stop there. The shockwave continued to spread, sweeping across the planet, igniting every corner with the power of their fury. For the first time, Earth showed its true strength. No one had seen this coming, not the Anrith, and certainly not the rest of the galaxy. The invasion was over. Earth had won. But the victory came at a great cost. The weapon had drained much of Earth's resources, and the planet would need time to heal. Cities had been destroyed in the wake of the shockwave, and the human race would carry the scars of the war for generations. But there was no going back. As the dust settled, Earth's leaders broadcast a message into space, a final warning to anyone who might dare to challenge humanity in the future. We are not weak. We are not defenseless. The time of patience is over. The galaxy trembled. The Anrith had fallen, and Earth had shown what it was capable of. The message had been sent to every corner of space. Humanity would no longer be a passive player. They would fight. And if anyone dared to challenge them again, they would face the full force of Earth's fury. For humanity, the end of patience had come, and no one, not even the most powerful empire in the galaxy, would forget the day Earth fought back.